going into details. We will just have a small kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Pavande Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavadasevaya Bhagavate Uttamastote. Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome you all for our Saturday weekly Bhagavatam discussion. And today we are in 4th canto, 7th chapter, verse number 29. I will say first the verse. Hare Krishna. Rudra Uvacha Tava Varadavarangrahasti Shekhakilarte Haipya Munibhir Asakter Adharanarhaniye Yedi Rechita Dhyam Avidyalogopavidham Jabadina Ganaye Tattva Paranugrahena Rudra Uvacha Tava Varada Varangraha Asishekha Kilarte Haipi Munibhir Asakter Adharanena Arhaniye Yedi Rechita Dhyam Avidyalogopavidham Jabadina Ganaye Tattva Paranugrahena. Anybody wish to recite Mataji's or Prabhuji's? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. 4.7.29. Rudra Uvacha Tava Varadavara Grava Ashishe Shakilarte Hi Abhimunibir Asaktair Adare Narhana Arhani यदि रजिदधियं मा विद्यलोगो अपविद्धम् जपति न गणये तत्त्वात् परानुग्रहे. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Rudra Vacha Tava Varada Varagrarao Ashisheha Akilarte Hai Api Munibir Asakter Adarena Harhanye Yadi Rachita Diyam Madvitya Loko Api Viddam Japati Na Ganaye Tattvat Para Anugrahena. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I recite?
Yes, Prabhu Mataji, please.
Rudrovacha tava varada varangrav ashishe hakilarte yapi munibhir asaktair adarenarhani yadi rachita dheyam ma vidyalokopavidham japati naganaye tattvat paranugrahena. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji side, anybody else wants to recite? Hare Krishna. Shall we move on to the next step, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
So we'll read the synonyms. Rudra Uvacha, Lord Shiva said, Tava, your, Varada, O Supreme, Benefactor, Vara and O Supreme Benefactor, Vara and Graha, precious lotus feet, Ashisha, by desire, Iha, in the material world, Akhila Arte, for fulfillment, Hiabi, certainly, Munibhi, by the sages, Ashakte, liberated, Adarena, with care, Arhaniya, worshipable, Vadi, if, Rajida Diyam, mind fixed, Ma, me, Aviddiloka, the ignorant persons, Abaviddham, unpurified activity, Jabadi, utters, Naganaye, do not value, Tat, it, Tvatpara, Anugrahena, by compassion like yours. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Shiva said, my dear Lord, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet, which as the source of all benedictions and the fulfillment of all desires, are worshipped by all liberated great sages, because your lotus feet are worthy of worship. With my mind fixed on your lotus feet, I am no longer disturbed by persons who blaspheme me, claiming that my activities are not purified. I do not mind their accusations, and I excuse them out of compassion, just as you exhibit compassion toward all living entities. Hare Krishna. Anybody wish to read the translation once?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please. Please read, Prabhu. Please
Lord
read.
Shiva said, my dear Lord, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet, which are the source of all the benedictions and the fulfillment of all desires, are worshipped by all liberated great sages, because your lotus feet are worthy of worship. With my mind fixed on your lotus feet, I am no longer disturbed by persons who blaspheme me, claiming that my activities are not purified. I do not mind their accusations, and I excuse them out of compassion, just as you exhibit compassion towards all living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So, one second. Second, something happened with this PPT. It's not moving. Hare Krishna, sorry for the inconvenience, Prabhuji. Purport: Lord Shiva expresses herein his regret at having been angry and having disturbed the sacrificial activities of Daksha. King Daksha had insulted him in many ways, and thus he had become angry and had frustrated the entire sacrificial ceremony. Later, when he was pleased, the Yajna performances were reinstituted, and therefore he regretted his activities. Now he says that because his mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, he is no longer disturbed by the ordinary critics of his way of life. From this statement by Lord Shiva, it is understood that as long as one is on the material platform, one is affected by the three modes of material nature. As soon as one is in Krishna consciousness, however, one is no longer affected by such material activities. One should therefore always be fixed in Krishna consciousness, busy in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. It is guaranteed that such a devotee will never be affected by the actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature. This fact is also corroborated in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone who is fixed in the transcendental service of the Lord has surpassed all the material qualities and is situated in the status of Brahman realization, in which one is not afflicted by hankering for material objects. The recommendation of the Srimad Bhagavatam is that one should always be Krishna conscious and should never forget his transcendental relationship with the Lord. This program has to be followed strictly by everyone. From the statement of Lord Shiva, it is understood that he was always in Krishna consciousness and thus he remained free from material affliction. The only remedy, therefore, is to continue Krishna consciousness in order to get out of the three modes of material, out of the contamination of the material modes. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananchanasalakaya Chachudunmilidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stavidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Bhuruva Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadandikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Udavadagamlam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Rekunadanyudam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lilita Sri Vishagannidamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubhyacha Griba Sindubhye Vaja Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhudale Srimade Jepataka Swamini Dinamine Namacharya Patayantaya Kripa Pradayane Gaurakatha Damadhyana Trakramatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prajaranir Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are in verse number 4.7.29. Before getting directly into this verse, we will just go through the previous verses. So as we have seen the last weeks and the last several weeks, we have studied about this entire few chapters is discussing about the sacrifice this performed by Daksha Prajapati, and he was not invited Lord Shiva, and because of that offenses he made, and because he insulted Lord Shiva, and then the consequences, Mother Sadi Devi, she quit her body, and when Lord Shiva understood that Mother Sadi, she already left her body, and after that the consequences of what we have seen in few chapters, and in this chapter also we are seeing, because after quitting Sadi Devi, she quitted her body. Lord Shiva became too much angry, and he created a demon from his matted hair, and this was Veerabhadra, and Veerabhadra came out, and he was demon, and he disturbed all the arena of sacrificial arena, and he chopped off the head of Daksha Prajapati, and he made so much chaos and disturbances, and so many punishment from Lord Shiva's part also. received by all demigods and all, and so many demigods, so many sages also got curse from Lord Shiva, and for that because of that he became too much angry. To pacify Lord Shiva, all the demigods and all the sages were present over that sacrificial arena. They went towards Lord Shiva's place, and they started offering prayers, and they addressed Lord Shiva as the Lord of the universe even, and glorified in like so many slogas. They were glorifying Lord Shiva's qualities and all, and addressing him as the greatest Vaishnavanam Eda Shambhu. And here you are the like you are, even though you are a demigod, but you are above demigod. I am your, Brahma was addressing us, saying that I am your father, but you are above me, because you are considering all the living entities in the same way. You are protector of the living entities, and you are always seeing the qualities of a person, never sees any bad things in any persons. That is in the same so many ways. Lord Brahma and all the sages were trying to pacify Lord Shiva. So after hearing this pleasing words of Lord Brahma, he became pleased, and he became pacified. And in this chapter, he is because all these Brahma and all sages were requesting him to restore completely restore the punishment or curse made by Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva was saying that I cannot be able to restore. I'm not going to restore completely the punishment, but there is some substitute is there. And because of he became pacified by the words of Lord Brahma. He started by saying with a smile, saying that I'm not offended, because the offenses made by demigods, it's not affected me, because demigods are like consider they are childish and they are less intelligent personality. So I haven't taken in account, because I have punished because I just want to correct them. Because in punishment we can understand that there are two types of punishments are there. One punishment is like one conqueror punishes another enemy, his enemy, and another punishment is a father who punishes his children, or parents who punishes his children. So there is a gulf difference between these two punishments, because when a father punishes a child or children, his attitude is just to correct him. But when a conqueror punishes his enemy, there is challenging mode is there. So here he is considered as the great Vaishnava. He cannot be, Lord Shiva cannot be inimical towards anybody. So his quality is described over here, and he is saying that I just punished these demigods just to want to correct them. So punishment is sometimes like a reward also. So to punish him and to direct them in a proper way, I have punished these demigods. And continues, we have seen that he punished Bhaga, the demigod. His name, the demigod's name is Bhaga. He he showed his eyes, or he utilized his eyes to give some indication to Daksha Prajapati in an offensive way. So he lost his eyes. So Lord Shiva is saying that here Bhaga can be able to see the sacrifices, like share of the sacrifice through the eyes of Mitra. Mitra is another demigod. And Pusha also, we have seen how he was laughing on Lord Shiva in an offensive way. So he offended me so that he lost his teeth. So he can be able to have some food through the teeth of his disciples. And if he want to alone release something, he can be able to have dough made by chickpea. That only he can be able to have alone. And all other demigods who had acted in a or offended other demigods who offended Lord Shiva and who got injured can be, because they are ready to give the share, because sacrificial share to me, they are going to get recovered very soon, because they are ready to give the sacrifice, a share of my sacrifices they are ready to give. And continuing, he is continuing saying that some of them, they lost their arms cut off. They lost their arms. They can be able to perform their duty through the arms of Ashwini Kumaras. And some, they lost their hands, can be able to work through the hands of Pusha. We have seen Pusha lost their eyes, lost his teeth. So the one who lost their hands can perform their duty through the hands of Pusha. And sages also has to work in that mode. And some demigods and all, they got a punishment. They also have to undergo such kind of like they also get such kind of punishment. And here Bhrigumuni also lost his mustache or beard, and he's awarded, he soon will be awarded with the beard or mustache of the god, which is the substitute of Daksha Prajapati's head. So saying this, by hearing all these pacifying words of Lord Shiva, all the personalities present over there, all the demigods and all the sages became so much happy. And because somehow they are getting their things back, like they can be able to work. So they became so happy, and they are inviting Lord Shiva into that arena, because sacrificial arena, because this Lord Shiva's Bhudaganas all disturbed the sacrificial arena, and they became disturbed in a very unkind manner. So it is right for them to invite Lord Shiva, because Shiva Hina, if there is no, without the presence of Shiva, Yajna won't be perfect, because as we all know that Bhaktaram, Lord Krishna is the Yajneshwara, but it is the right of all demigods to present wherever any sacrifices conducted by somebody. They have the right to present over there, headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So they have the right. So where there is no presence of Lord Shiva, Yajna is not completed. So because of that, they invited Lord Shiva to come to that sacrificial arena. And soon he came to this sacrificial arena, and all the activities are executed according to the will of the Lord Shiva. And here all the demigods and sages were very careful not to irritate Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva came to the arena, and there Bhrigumuni received his beard back. Same way, Daksha Prajapati, actually he was lying dead on the sacrificial arena, because Veerabhadra chopped off his head and burned into ashes. Now he was lying down on the arena without having, in a dead way. But soon he received, by the mercy of the mercy of Lord Shiva, he received the head of God. And soon he received the head of God. What had happened? He brought it to his consciousness. So soon after, so like a person, how he is wake up from his sleep, same way, this Daksha Prajapati, he came back into his real consciousness. So here we can see in the modern scientific theory, what they are saying, that this brain factor are the cause of all intelligence and all. But we can argue in this case, when even though he was fixed, his Daksha Prajapati's body was fixed to a god head, but he was acting same like a how he was acting before, the same manner he was acting. So this brain substance are just it's an instrument only, but consciousness is the main factor. So here he regained back his consciousness. That consciousness is considered as an individual. So because of that, he was able to act like the same his consciousness. So we can see in our Vedic scriptures also about the story of Maharaj. This Bharata Maharaj, he was actually always contemplating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but at the time of death, he was like meditating on deer, and he transferred his next life. He got the life of a deer, but his consciousness was the same, and he was able to recollect all these things that he was before. His body, he was in a Maharaja Bharata's body. So that is the thing we can be able to understand here also. So brain cell is just an instrument, but consciousness is not situated in the brain, but it is situated near the heart. So here he is regained his real senses. So when he got up from his he brought back to his real consciousness, he saw Lord Shiva was standing near to him, and he started offering his prayers. He was trying to offer his prayers, because he was saying that you are the benedictor among the benedictor. Nidushtama, he was addressing him as Nidushtama. That means he is the best among the benedictors. And he is Ashutosha also, because he is very easy to be pleased and to get angry. So here we can say that he is so many material desire, who is desiring material things, they are going behind the Lord Shiva, because he is easily we can be able to please him easily. But he is also giving benediction in spiritual life also. And we can see the story of a touching stone, because an old Brahmana, he was worshipping Lord Shiva, and by Lord Shiva became pleased, and he said this Brahmana to go and meet Sanatana Goswami and get the best benediction from Sanatana Goswami. So he reached Sanatana Goswami, and he was offer of his obeisances, and Sanatana Goswami was having one touching stone with him, and he gave this touching stone to this Brahmana. And when he left that place, he was thinking that this touching stone was there in the garbage, and he was thinking that if it is the best among the benediction, then how he kept this touching stone in that garbage. He went back to Sanatana Goswami and asked if this touching stone is that much best among this benediction, then why you kept in this garbage? Then he said, this is not the best benediction. If you are ready to receive best benediction from me, just get ready for that. And he initiated that Brahmana with he instructed him to throw that touching stone in the nearby river, and he initiated that old Brahmana with Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the beauty, that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also introduced this Sankirtana Yajna, because he was the best among the benediction. That's why he was too much merciful to all living deities. That's why he introduces Sankirtana movement for all the fallen souls like us, so that we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we can have a real consciousness, Krishna consciousness, and simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can be able to go back to our real house, Golok Vrindavana. So here he was addressing in that way to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva became pacified, and he was trying to offer prayers, but soon after he saw Lord Shiva, he suddenly he remembered the ill fate of his daughter, but somehow or other way he pacified his feelings, and he started offering prayers to Lord Shiva, saying that I am very fallen soul, that's why I have offended you by using arrow of words, sharp words, and but you are so merciful, and because of your mercy, you did not withdraw your mercy, and you awarded me by punishing me. So here we can see this punishment is also an award for all of us, because great devotees, pure devotees are considering if some punishment or some distress or some misfortune happens in our life, the pure devotees are considering this as a benediction only, benediction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So because they are considering that this is because my past karma, I am going through such kind of misfortune and distress. So this is the, because they will start concentrating or contemplating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead more and more than before. When they receive like matra sparshastukam, whenever there is too much distress or too much instability happens, they are not going back. They will continue their prayers, and they will always fall at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here also this he was saying that you have shown your mercy by punishing me, and then he was saying that you are, because I was about to go into the hellish planet, but you regain me back to my real consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So he is so merciful, because he is Bhudaganas all are in the modes of ignorance, but he is trying to uplift all these fallen souls. Here, Daksha Prajapati, even though he was the son of Lord Brahma, he's a Brahmana, he was not showing any Brahmanical qualities also. That's why he was addressing, Daksha Prajapati was addressing Lord Shiva that you are the protector of Brahmana. Even though we know that the real protector is Lord Vishnu, but Lord Shiva is the representative of Lord Vishnu. He is also the protector of Brahmanas. So he is saying that you are protecting the unqualified Brahmanas. So what you won't punish me, because at least I am always doing some sacrifice. So sacrifice is meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you won't punish me. You are the protector of Brahmana, and even though I am not qualified as a Brahmana, I am Brahmana Bandhu, but you are showing your mercy. So by pacifying, by pleasing Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva became pleased, and Daksha Prajapati, everybody all these present over there, sages and Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all the personalities present over the sacrifice before all went to the new the sacrificial area, and they started doing cleansing process, like because already Veerabhadra and all other Lord Shiva's Bhudaganas, they disturbed and they mess all the sacrificial arena, because as we all know that Bhudaganas, they never used to take bath every day, and they used to use ganjas and all. So for that, they need to clean the sacrificial arena, and they started cleaning, and Daksha Prajapati started offering clarified butter by using Ejur mantras and all. And by hearing this, what is happening is Narayana, Lord Vishnu in his Narayana form, he appeared in that sacrificial arena. And as we all know that Prema Anjana Churida Bhakti Vilojana, like when the devotees are anointed with the ointment of love, we can be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Shamsundara is so merciful, and he is coming in front of Lord Brahma, Lord and Lord Shiva, and all these Brahmanas and Daksha Prajapati. And the description, the coming verse is giving the description of Lord Narayana. As we all know that it's we are not qualified, and over this arena, who all are present over there, Lord Brahma, even Lord Shiva also was not qualified to describe about the qualities of Lord Narayana, and his description was given like his how his body is so beautiful, and about his ornaments and his garments is looks like a gold, and his golden and bluish hair, and his blackish in complexion, and about his 8 hands, he is wearing wheel and all lotus flower and maize, and all these things. 8 hands where he was using weapons and all, and all these things he was describing about Lord Narayana. And we know Ananda Shesha, he is having so many thousands of mouth, but he was unable to describe about Lord Narayana. So that is the qualification qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So even Lord Brahma was very fearful to qualify to describe his qualities, and they were keeping their hands on the head, and they were trying to get the grace from, or the mercy from, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And after getting that mercy from Supreme Personality of Godhead, they were like describing about the qualities of Lord Narayana. So Lord Narayana became pleased, and here in the last 28th verse, today we are discussing about the 29th verse, but the 28th verse is describing with the person who are not in Krishna consciousness, they are in a precarious, they are leading a precarious life. Like every time we know, step by step, we are facing so many distresses and so many problems. Like a time factor is always behind us to strike, and so many ferocious animals are behind to attack, and we are in a false happiness. We are thinking that in this material world we can be able to gain happiness, but it is as we all know that this is Dukkale Mashashudam, and the persons who are not in Krishna consciousness, always they are taking birth and Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, and they are thinking that we are doing something activities, but they are material activities. We have to do activities for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the benefit of Krishna consciousness movement. So we have to support Krishna consciousness movement, and because Krishna conscious movement deliver or even very fallen souls, and they can be able to like concentrate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was about 4.7.29, and today's verse 4.7.28, and today's verse 4.7.21. We can see how we'll move back to this purport and we'll see. Yeah, Lord Shiva said, "My dear Lord, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet, which as the source of all benediction and the fulfillment of all desires are worshipped by all liberated great sages, because your lotus feet are worthy of worship. With my mind fixed on your lotus feet." So he's expressing his mind, saying that because I have fixed my mind on your lotus feet, so that what all things other people they are doing, it does not affect me. I am not irritated by anybody else's if say some accusation they are making. I'm not at all bothered about that, because I have fixed mind on your mind and my activities on your lotus feet. How, and and I excuses with all the other person who accuses me, who blaspheme me, with the great compassion, I excuses them. And how he excuses them, the way Supreme Personality of Godhead, he excuses all the living entities. That was the mood of Lord Shiva. He was expressing that the importance of fixing our mind and our activities into the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here we can. So here it's Srila Prabhupada is expressing that, and he's trying to express that as he's a great Vaishnava, since he's showing his guilty feeling that because Vaishnava quality is what is Vaishnava quality. Somebody offends a Vaishnava. Vaishnava thinks that I might be offended that another person. That is the greatness. Here actually the things are happened on, and these disturbances or all these curses and counter curses, all these things happen because Daksha Prajapati offended the Supreme, offended Lord Shiva, and but as a great Vaishnava, he is thinking that everything is happened maybe because of my fault. That is the greatness of a Vaishnava. In the beginning, we all know that Lord Shiva was criticized by Daksha Prajapati, and Daksha Prajapati offended Lord Shiva, and later Mother Sati Devi, she also insulted because there was no oblation kept for Lord Shiva, and because of that she got insulted and she kept his body, and all these things happened from Daksha Prajapati's side. But Lord Shiva is thinking that I should not have done that much, because relationship, keeping interpersonal relationship is a very complicated thing. So he was thinking that I should not do such kind, was not supposed to do such kind of things. So an exalted devotee like Lord Shiva is feeling guilty on that. So we also should understand that if we are doing some minute offense to any Vaishnava, we should also develop the same quality of Lord Shiva. So that we should understand from this translation side. That is, Srila Prabhupada is also trying to make us understand that if we are also offending, we should have that quality that we should beg forgiveness on the same spot. We should be ready to beg for forgiveness. So because the misunderstanding can be happen in a very high level also. So we have to try, even though devotees are not hankering for any material desires or anything, but there is some like offenses are normally happening because they might be thinking that we are surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but it does not mean that same like a robot, we are, what all things we are doing according to the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No, because we are also in a sadhaka stage, there is a chance to have a mistake happen, or offenses are we are doing as a sadhaka. But Vaishnavas, what they are thinking that because something offense is happening in between Vaishnava, it is not the fault of a single Vaishnava, because how the claps we are clapping, we are putting together two hands together, then the claps we are doing clapping. So even if there is any mistake happen in between Vaishnava, we cannot blame that a single Vaishnava or one person is wrong. So there is another person. If that person, if in between two person Vaishnavas, if any offenses are happening, if one person is ready to take in that way that I don't want to take in it as an account, I just want to leave this matter. If in such case, clapping won't happen, because they are two persons, they are talking in between and they are doing some offenses, then the offenses is coming. Otherwise, what we should do, we should be very humble. So we are trying to become with the great effort, the Vaishnavas are trying to become so humble and humility. And humility, as we all understand that humility means what? Humility means a spiritual knowledge, or humility means spiritual intelligence. So if a person is humility, we can be able to say that that person is spiritually intelligent. Otherwise, so if a person who is gain knowledge, that person only can be able to become humble. So we can see, because humility means they are in relationship with the others, and how the Supreme Personality of God, we should think about others. We are having relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are in relationship with the karmis and all other personalities. So humility means the way we think, not according to our way, but the way how Krishna would think, that we should understand. So in Kurukshetra war, we can see Arjuna was at the very beginning, he was very much humble, but after that he realized that humility is not what he thinks. It is the way Krishna wishes, because Krishna's wish was to kill the opposite party. So he realized that I have to be humble by acting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead's will. So that is the real humility. So here Lord Shiva was saying that I am always concentrating my mind on your lotus feet. So he is an exalted devotee, so that he can be able to fix his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we are in a conditioned state. We are affected by the three modes of material nature. For us, it's very difficult to fix our mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, we can be able to fix our mind and our activities on the Supreme Personality of Godhead by doing devotional service, because Krishna actually he is considering all the living beings as person, and he has given an intelligent enough to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So service mentality is very much appreciated here. So here he is saying that I have a fixed mind on your lotus feet, and I have no longer I am not hungry for any material desires. So by doing devotional service under the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we can be able to not same like a Lord Shiva. At least we can perform devotional service unto the lotus feet of Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. We can be able to come into that platform of Vaishnava quality. So sometimes Vaishnavas are thinking that they can be able to act like they are can be able to interfere in any matter, but it is not like that. Vaishnavas, because to to plan in this material world, to plan a Krishna conscious society, we have to act like in different way. Like we need some management portion also we need. So Brahmanas or qualified Brahmanas also we need. But Brahmana is itself not is enough is for not for a Krishna conscious society. We need all these parties like a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, all. So Brahmana is like meant for teaching purpose. Kshatriya for the managing purpose. So if we have to develop any Krishna conscious society, so we need like Kshatriya Brahmanas also we need, but that Kshatriya should be monitored by Vaishnava principles, whether they are following Vaishnava qualities or not. So everybody's service is needed for a Krishna conscious society. So here it is saying that a Krishna conscious society is developing in this purport. It is necessary to develop Krishna conscious society. So for that we have to work work together so that we can, because in a temple management, if that temple head is too much polite and too much equivalent to every person, it is not possible, because we are in these three modes of material nature. We need to have a separate what to say, to manage that temple. He has to act like a Kshatriya, act like a Brahmana. So he need different qualities of personalities to how that society to maintain. So for that purpose, Vaishnavas, what they are doing, that Vaishnavas thinking that Kshatriyas, I can do the qualities of, I can do the activities of a Brahmana, but we can understand that a pure Vaishnava can act as a Kshatriya, and even Brahmana quality also they can be able to possess. But in this material world, very difficult to act. Krishna also says in this Bhagavad Gita that you should act your Varnasrama Dharma. It's better to act in another Asrama Dharma, better to act your Varnasrama Dharma. So we have to follow, we have to act in that way. Whatever position we are possessing, if you are a Kshatriya, you can be able to act like a Kshatriya, and we can render service to the Supreme Personality Godhead in that way. And if you are Vaishnava, because Vaishnava also is needed for, because Chadar Varni Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasya, Krishna only created this Varnasrama Dharma. So if you are a Vaishnava, if you are a Shudra, you can remain as Shudra, but you can develop the Vaishnava qualities. And if you are a Kshatriya, because Kshatriya is also needed for a management purpose, you can remain as Kshatriya asrama, but you can develop the qualities of a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava principle should be carried out in each of the ashramas. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 8.54 says that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shoshadi na kankshadi sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labade param. That means it is given in the purport that one who is thus transcendently situated and once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful, he never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Krishna says, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, says that you are not a Brahmana, you are not a Kshatriya, you are not a Vaishya, or you are not a Shudra, but instead you are the servant of the Supreme Personality of God. In that mode, if you work together, we can be able to create a Krishna conscious society. Otherwise, we should understand that we are the part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our duty is only to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In that mood, if we work together, we won't get any material hankering, or if any distress or anything comes in our life, we won't feel, because we are in a Brahman realization, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, because we understood that we are the Supreme, we are the part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our duty is to serve the Supreme Personality. We have to implement that, because after understanding that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have to implement that. We have to serve that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here Lord Shiva is saying that I have concentrated my mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whoever is blaspheming me, whoever is making accusation on me, I am not at all minding on them. I am no longer disturbed by any person who blaspheme me, claiming me that my activities are not purified, because he was not thinking that, because he is in a transcendental mood. He's because Daksha Prajapati, actually he was thinking that he was intelligent enough to act like all members. He can be able to blaspheme anybody, because he was situated in a Brahmanical position. So he was actually taken birth from Lord Brahma. He was a Brahmana, but he was thinking that he can be able to act like a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and all these categories. But we should think that he needs spiritual intelligence. So then a person who acquires spiritual intelligence can act or can claim that I can have that qualities of all these ashramas. Otherwise, because we can see that he was actually in material consciousness, but material consciousness, because of the mercy of Lord Shiva, he got the head of a god, and he regained his real consciousness, and he started offering obeisances unto the lotus feet of Lord Shiva and Vaishnava, and Lord, even Lord Narayana. He started giving obeisances, and he regained his senses back. He started offering, or he started using his senses at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we also should understand that as a practicing of sadhaka level, we also can commit so many mistakes and all this. So I mean, Haresh Prabhuji, you cannot see my screen, Prabhu?
No, Mataji, I think some error is there.
No,
Yes, Prabhu?
screen not visible. Screen not visible.
1 second, Prabhuji. Now it's okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, purport is visible.
Okay, Prabhu. So this is purport. Clearly, Srila Prabhupada is giving or making us understand that we have to also help in creating a Krishna conscious society, so that we can be able to continue Krishna conscious rigidly, and we can be able to get rid of the contamination of the material modes. How Daksha Prajapati, he was in a fully material consciousness, and he by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he regained his real consciousness. He brought back to his real consciousness, and he started offering all the obeisance, and he started doing sacrifice, because yajna is meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Lord Vishnu, or Lord Krishna is the Yajneshwara. So to please, he's concentrating on his mind and his service unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because he was for the material purpose, he was before doing all these yajnas. Now he regained his real senses and his real consciousness, and he's ready to do sacrifices for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here we are so merciful by the movement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is none other than Lord Krishna himself. He's because of his mercy, Sankirtana movement is very established, and we can also utilize that Sankirtana movement by simply chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We can be able to concentrate, or we can be able to contemplate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we can be able to do so many devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By doing so, we can be able to continue our real consciousness, Krishna consciousness, and be able to get out of the contamination of the material modes. So from this purport, we can be able to understand that we have to come back to our real consciousness, because we are in an animalistic consciousness or material consciousness. So by practicing Krishna consciousness, we can be able to regain our real consciousness, and we can go back to Krishna's abode by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that we have to understand from so many points. We can be able to understand from this paragraph. If anything more, please, Prabhuji, Sudarshan Prabhu, Kanaiyyadesh Prabhu, and senior Vaishnavas are sitting here, can be able to add more and more points on this.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful explanation. For your
I was not prepared, Prabhuji, actually.
I give you only not even 2 days, only 1.5 days you got. No? So within this time, you wonderfully explained the content, subject matter. Thank you for that.
One more point I just want to add,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
When we develop the quality of Krishna consciousness, or when we do devotional service and do the Supreme Personality of Godhead, definitely Krishna will give that protection. Always he will protect us. The same like Ambarish Maharaj, he was continuously doing service by Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaran, all his 9 process he was following. And when this Durvasa Muni, actually Durvasa Muni offended Ambarish Maharaj, and Supreme Personality of Godhead he protected by sending his chakra, Sudarshan chakra, from the demon which was it was created by Durvasa Muni. So assurance is there. If we are ready to perform a devotional service, definitely Krishna will always protect us. That should we should keep it in our mind.
That is guaranteed, Mataji. Lord has told us his devotees are never perished. Name bhakta pranashyati. So for that, we did not struggle with all the 9. Of course, even 1 is more than sufficient. But we should do to the best of our abilities. At least minimum is 1, and maximum are always welcome. So before going to the addition part, we will address the questions, if any. Devotees want to have clarification on any of the points, they are welcome to unmute and ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, that was pronounced Prabhuji.
That's all.
Yeah, it's not any clarification, just I want to add one point, Prabhuji, if you allow me, give the permission.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So Mataji has explained very nicely that criticism can be good for our spiritual progress. And so being a sadhaka, we have to understand this thing that when a senior devotee is criticizing us for our spiritual growth and for our spiritual progress, then normally it happens that we take criticism on 2 levels. One, we take criticism on the bodily level, then our false ego get hurt. And second thing, that when we take the criticism on the intellectual level, we understand that, oh, this devotee is, if criticizing me, then definitely there must be something which is good for my spiritual progress. So whenever we get a criticism from the Vaishnavas and senior devotees or our our god brothers and all, so we have to be very positive. We have to take it in a positive way. We should not take it on our bodily level. That can create a big obstacle in the path of our bhakti. So whenever criticism comes, we should use our intelligence, and we should accept it in a positive way, and we should try to implement that whatever devotees are trying to correct us, we will follow those things in a proper way, so that can be a good, that can be a good part of our spiritual progress. That's what just I wanted to say. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
That is very, very important point. Constructive criticisms to be always accepted. Even if it is destructive criticism, no problem. We should be able to tolerate that. Okay, we are trying to be Trinada be Sujinena. We are trying to be more humble than a grass on the road, and trying to be more tolerant than a tree which suffers all the climatical changes, scorching heat, the very icy cold conditions of winter, still bearing fruits for other living beings. So thank you, Prabhu, for bringing out this point. The other devotees got to have want to ask any doubts or clarifications? Can be asked. If not, more additions and comments are also welcome. Okay. If nothing from devotees, I have a request. Please try to participate in maximum number of programs. Please inform the family members, colleagues, friends, relatives,